Hey, Motorman here. Last week I did a video and I showed a pretty bad crash. Luckily the rider wasn't hurt, but it was bad because not only did he crash once, but he crashed twice in a matter of moments. In fact, I heard on the entire ride that he actually crashed 5 times that one day. And I should have put this at the beginning of the video. Instead, I put it at the end. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you that short video, the 2 crashes that happened to wind up on video, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why it happened, and I'm going to show you how to prevent that, how parking lot practice is going to help you out on the road. And this video is all about counter steering or push steering. Push forward on the left grip, the motorcycle leans left and goes left. Push forward on the right grip, it leans right and goes right. It's as simple as that. It's fairly instinctual, except when you have to really do it. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. This is actual speed. I'm going to show it to you again in slow motion so you can see exactly what happened. But this is a combination of inability to counter steer when you needed to, as well as having no clue how to use the head and eyes technique, looking only where you want to go. He looked at the guardrail and he hit it. Here's the second crash caught on video. This is even worse, a little bit higher speed, but amazingly he wasn't hurt and got on the bike and crashed 3 more times that day. But this is all that was caught on film. First, notice his position here. He's in the middle of the lane. This is one way, by the way, so there's no traffic coming the opposite way. If he'd have stayed all the way over to his right and turned his head to the left, he'd have made this turn easily. The road is plenty wide enough, albeit he is going downhill. Makes it a little bit more difficult, but head and eyes, a little push on the forward on the left grip, the bike would have gone left. Instead, he's trying to keep that bike straight up. He's looking at the thing he doesn't want to hit, which is the guardrail, and he keeps staring at it, and he runs right into it. It doesn't have to be this way, folks. I guarantee you this guy never took any kind of training, or if he did, it was many years ago, and he forgot what he'd learned. So here we notice he's got all kinds of room on the right side, but he's looking at that guardrail, staring right at it, doesn't push forward on the right grip, because had he done that, the bike would have leaned right and gone right, and he would have been nowhere near that guardrail. But he kept staring at it, kept the bike straight up, and of course, he runs right into the guardrail. And this is actually worse than the other one. I think, though he wasn't hurt, I'm sure the bike was in worse shape this time. So here's how we practice counter steering or push steering. Here at the Ride Like a Pro class, we have 5 cones in a straight line. They're 30 feet apart, and the speed is 20 miles per hour. All the rider has to do is push on whatever grip, whichever way he wants to swerve. Usually it takes 2 or 3 times through this before the rider gets the idea and does enough push steering to make it through without hitting the cones. At the class, you've got as many tries as you want to avoid these rubber cones. Out on the street in the real world, you've got one chance. If you've never practiced any of this counter steering or push steering, and the one time you're going to try it out on the street, well, you might make it and you might not. Do you want to rely on dumb luck, or do you want to rely on your training? This is an easy thing to practice even without any cones. Find a deserted road or a big empty parking lot and start pushing those handlebars back and forth. Get that bike swinging and swaying and swerving at speeds. You can start at 20 miles per hour and work up to any speed you're likely to ride at. If you can't do this at 20 miles per hour with the cones at 30 feet apart, well, put them at 40 feet apart. Stay at 20 miles per hour. Work up in small increments, but you got to learn to push steer. Push left to go left, push right to go right. It is instinctual in that everybody does it. If you've ever rounded a curve and didn't crash, well, you've counter steered without realizing it. A lot of people think they're pushing down on the bars. No, it's pushing forward. That's what makes the bike lean, and in order to swerve or make it around a curve, you got to make the motorcycle lean. It's an easy thing to practice. There's really no excuse for not doing it. You don't need any cones. Just get out there. Every time you get on your motorcycle, give a little push on those bars and see what it does. So you get it through your head that it's not just an instinctual thing. When you have to do it, when it's an emergency, that's when people have a problem. So to avoid that problem, it just takes a little bit of training, and it's not a whole lot of effort. I mean, this is such an easy thing to practice. It's not even funny. If you've never done it, you've never tried to lean, turn, or swerve quickly, well, now's the time to do it before you actually need it. Avoid that emergency situation. To avoid anything like this happening to you, please get yourself a copy of my Ride Like a Pro experience video and get it on the USB. You're going to get 2 videos, Surviving the Mean Streets. It's going to show you real world situations, why you did particular exercises. Comes with this practice guide. This is $34.95 at ridelikeapro.com. And it runs about 2.5 hours of total instructions. It's very detailed. In fact, all winter long, you should be watching this so you'll be ready for the riding season and you'll know what to practice. I want to give a big shout to Meg's Motorcycle Journey. She's got a great YouTube channel. She let me use a couple of clips from her videos, but it's all about touring. She does some great rides, and let's face it, folks, she's very easy on the eyes. In fact, she even has a calendar out now. I got to get myself a copy of that calendar. So watch Meg's channel, and once again, Meg, thank you very much.